Hey, James and Alan, thanks for sitting down. I want to go over a couple things with you guys today on some real estate stuff for inside the membership for everybody.
Okay.
I just want to do like a real quick little video. I got some questions that I know a lot of people have been asking, so I'm going to ask on their behalf. So let's get started. How do you see the national market in real estate moving forward in the near term?
Well, that's actually a great question. Here's what I think. We're about mid-year through 2024.
Yep.
I think what we're going to see is a couple of things. We're going to see a continuation of contraction in single family because supply is just not there, and that's pretty much anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
But it's going to also be driven because rates. Now, we might still see one or two rate cuts because the Fed is starting to walk back their earlier position that they're going to fight to the hill and to the death before they do a rate cut until inflation is down to 2%. And obviously, Powell's now walking away from that and walking back. Now that, as of today, Biden has dropped out and won't be running for re-election, that's going to have an effect on the market also. Yeah. So I look at contraction to deepen in single family, mainly driven by supply and price.
Yeah.
I look at commercial real estate. The bubble is going to start really in the end of the fourth quarter of this year, going into next year, because you're going to have a lot of loans getting reset at higher rates of interest, and we're going to see a lot of that go south in default.
Sure.
The large development projects of apartments, multifamily, the 25, 30 units and higher, is going to continue to grow, and I think it's going to accelerate.
Yeah.
And then your 2 to 10 and your 10 to 25 units, you're going to see radical growth. You're going to see a lot, because that's the sweet spot that baby boomers have a lot of inventory in. Sure. And as they retire and pass away, we're going to see more of that inventory coming onto the market, and it's going to be underpriced. Actually, it's going to be significantly underpriced in many regions. And this is an opportunity that, if you can pay attention to a few of these leading indicators, you're going to be able to make a fortune. I mean, a very large fortune in multifamily in those two, the 2 to 10 unit and then the 11 to 20, 25 unit space is going to be incredibly great opportunity.
Oh, I mean, that's good news. And that leads me into my next question for you. You've got about from what I understand, a high 7-figure portfolio. Can you just tell us a little bit of how you guys built that? I know it's you and your wife, obviously.
Yeah, so a lot of that came from gains that we had in Bitcoin. I was taking Bitcoin back in the day when it was like $4,000 or $5,000, right?
Right.
And so we had one small chunk that was like 150,000 at the time in a fee. When we liquidated that little piece, it gave us enough to take the next step and add to our portfolio, and it just sort of built the momentum, and it continues to build. The investment strategies that we have back in the back office, and basically, the 5 different ways that you want to look at real estate, we use all 5 of those, and it's really an organized approach. We let positive cash flow help us invest in other asset groups to where they grow, and then we take that, and we're at the point right now where we've accumulated enough that in the next, probably, I'm going to say 8 to 15 months, we'll probably buy the next property, which will be anywhere from a 6 to maybe 9 unit building. We'll pay cash for it.
Yeah.
We're not going to have to liquidate other assets to do that. And we just keep building that. And that's what really this program was really designed to do. We started out with, when we got married, we had one little rental together that we worked on. And we built that from that point. Now we're closely approaching an 8-figure portfolio, and we built it all from that first deal.
Sure. So how would you, just in your opinion, how would you divide the real estate industry under current market conditions?
Well, okay, so you have your owner occupied primary residence. That's one segment of the real estate market, and it's a pretty big segment, but it's significantly skewed right now because inventory and demand are just so out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a limited supply of anything and a growing demand of that same thing, your price is going to be skewed.
Right.
And we see that in almost every region of the country. There are some pockets where I think it's a little bit less intensive, but that's one segment. You have your multifamily residential, and I'm going to say that that's sort of a little bit of a different skew. We look at the 2 to 5 unit differently because under Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae lending requirements, it used to be 25-30% down.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can do that for 5% down. You can buy a 4-unit property, $1 million, $1.5 million property with 5% down, live in 1 unit, rent out the other 3, count the rent on the other 3 as part of your qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're young enough and you don't matter too much about the zip code that you're living in for the first couple of years, say 4, 5, 6 years, you can do 3 or 4 of those kinds of properties that you can flip and go into the next one and build a multi-million-dollar portfolio in half the time that it takes most people to do. It's just incredible, that opportunity. Then I would say you've got that, 6-unit in up to maybe the 20-unit range. That's going to open up significantly with the baby boomers. That's where most of their money is invested in duplex, triplex, or several of those, or maybe 6 or 8 units.
Yeah.
Then you've got the larger complexes. That multifamily is going to be the growth.
Sure.
And it's going to be the biggest part of the growth because the housing shortage right now. And you're going to see a tremendous new emergence of fractional ownership. You're going to see fractional ownership in investing in real estate and fractional ownership in investments that you can invest in. And we're already starting to see early signs of that. So I think we're looking at basically the entire real estate industry sort of resetting for the next 20 or 30 years how it's going to conduct business. And it's a very exciting time because I believe almost anything that you do in real estate, you would have to work hard to lose money if you just have a little bit of skill and talent and know what to look for.
Yeah, and have somebody like you guys, you and Alan, to back up.
Well, and that's a good point, Alan. Just what are some of the clients that we're talking about in real estate? What are their comments lately that you've been working with?
Yeah, they have their comments is like they just keep money and putting investment on the real estate. One of our clients is just keep buying real estate, and there's like 2 or 3 real estate that's now on the market. And also, what I observe on real estate, there's a lot of people building a self storage. You can see self storage all over when you're driving. So I think that's what the shape of the real estate that they're doing.
The other thing, John, I think that is going to be an exciting area of growth, and you can see this more like in California and some other states like California. Right now, if you had a 50 by 100 lot and had a single family residence, you could actually put an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, or maybe 2 ADUs on that because of the housing shortage. And now your residential rental is a mixed use residential rental and multifamily rental property.
Right.
The tax savings alone would almost pay for 100% of your investment to do that. And that money would be tax free because you're leveraging the tax attributes of the investment as residential rental. So we're going to see a whole reshaping of the entire real estate industry, driven not only by the market conditions and technology, but by the tax incentives and the tax attributes that are emerging, and people are starting to realize that there's some real value there.
Yeah. So, and I think you might have touched on this a little bit. In my notes here, I wanted to find out what you thought, in your opinion, were going to be some of the better opportunities that might not be on people's radars.
Yeah. So here in California, if you can find a property that's in a transportation zone, and there's plenty of them out there, and let's say it's a single family house, and you can go in and maybe demo that project down to the dirt
Right.
for maybe $50,000-$75,000 down to dirt.
Mm-hmm.
The chances that you could probably replace that with anywhere from 6 to 14 units and sell that at $150,000 to $200,000 per door.
Right.
We just did a deal like that on our Pariacea deal. It was a corner lot next to our Mohawk property. We demoed the project down for less than 55 grand. We paid 560,000, I think, cash. So we had a little over 620,000 in the project.
Yeah.
We listed it and got a full cash offer with less than a 30-day escrow for $1,250,000.
Oh wow.
And doubled our money in just a crazy. We're looking at those kinds of opportunities every day where we can go in and give somebody top dollar, maybe $700,000 for your property, because we can turn around, demo the project down to the dirt, get the engineering specs done for a preliminary, clear that with the city for the permits for a developer to come in. You get, let's say $120,000 a door or $150,000 a door, and you get 10 doors that you can build on it. You got $1.5 million project that you paid $700,000 for. You make an $800,000 profit. You'd be crazy not to do that.
Yeah, and you're not worried about keeping it rented. There's no building maintenance. You literally.
The dirt is not going to complain. The dirt will not complain.
That's right.
It's dirt.
That's right. That's right. That's even better. So these little videos that we're going to be inside the free lifetime ITWS financial services
That's awesome.
training. Yeah. But so I know you and Alan will also offer your mentoring services as well. Can you kind of go into what that entails a little bit? Is it kind of like coaching? Is it a little more involved?
That's a great question. So let's define a little bit or create the distinction between coaching and mentoring. Coaching is I'm going to teach you how to do something. I'm going to coach you on how to lift weights, or I'm going to coach you how to run, or how to swim, or maybe how to cook. I'm going to coach you on how to do something. Mentoring is actually creating an experience of you doing something. Gotcha. And the mentor actually guides you through the process of actually doing it so that you have the experience of doing it. You build your own confidence. I can't teach you how to be confident. It's something that you will feel and know when you feel it. But a mentor will go about creating an experience. You want to buy a 4-unit property. You want to live in one and rent out the other 3 and take advantage of that 5% down. I will create the experience of you doing that so that you have all of those benefits and features and all of the things working together so that you will have the confidence in doing that. And once you've done it once, you never need me. You just go do that again. And that's what's unique about our program, because it is an interactive and mentoring directed. I mean, I've done a lot of coaching, and nothing wrong with coaching, but mentoring is quite a different thing. I've been mentoring Alan for 10 years. Yes. And he can handle everything just as good as I can. And he's taking over a lot of the client case files. This is the thing that I think is the most important part, especially for our younger generation. You need somebody that has the experience and enough of the wisdom to know what you should be looking for and looking at, so that when you're ready to take that next step, you've got that foundation, and a mentor is there to help you create that experience so that it's a successful experience.
That's great. Yeah.
Yes,
I appreciate that distinction. It's and again, it kind of goes back to what I just said previously, that having you guys as sort of my backup is just jet fuel to what I'm trying to do. So
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's an
That's it.
accelerator. It's a force multiplier. If
Well,
you-
and it's you guys are my safety belt too, or anybody's safety belt. You're
Right.
like, hey, don't step there. I've stepped there before and it hurt a lot. Let's not
Right.
do that. You
Yeah,
know, so,
it's a relation base on the mentoring.
yes.
It's experience sharing. It promote the problem solving because the assistance of your mentor. It
Right.
really the mentor and the mentee relationship that was promote.
I don't tell Alan what to do. I give him a challenge or a task, an assignment, and I tell him, hey, go figure it out. And then he goes and does that, comes back with the result. Now he's had an experience of critical thinking and problem solving.
Right.
He's used his skills and talents to try to figure out the solution. Now I can show him, based on his work, what is important and how to navigate the decision making to maybe find other ways to look at the same perspective or the same problem and enhance his ability to do problem solving. And so that's what an effective mentor does. It's not about doing it my way versus your way, or a right way versus a wrong way. It's about you building competence in an experience-based relationship where you're making decisions and you're doing things that you've never done before, but you've got somebody there that can share their experience, their life experience, and their wisdom with you. I mean, I've been in the tax industry for 42 years,
Right.
right? And I was in the real estate and insurance industry 6 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
So for nearly 50 years, since I was 19, 20 years old, I've been doing a lot of what I'm talking about.
Yes,
And I have built a very successful financial life and business. And when I look at everything that we got, that I believe is a blessing from God, and we are the stewards over what we've been given. All of this started from nothing,
Yeah.
from nothing.
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
experience that you will carry for the rest of your life.
You'll
because
have
you
it
will
for the
never-
rest of your life. Absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
that's the best part of our program.
No, 100%. And my last point for the end of this video here is you can't fake 42 years of experience.
No,
I mean, there's
true.
a lot of there's a lot of smart 22-year-olds out there, I guess. But I'm going to come to you and I'm going to come to Alan before I would ever go to somebody who might have a lot of book knowledge, because you can't fake 42 years in the trenches, on the street, doing it. You just can't. Like, that's worth its weight of gold.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about 42 years of life experience in the trenches, doing it every day. You
That's
know, I have no hair for a reason. I pulled it all out, getting crazy, right?
I'm getting there myself.
Yeah.
I won't tell
But
you what I was doing 42 years ago. You might feel bad.
At the end of the day, here's the bottom line. Nobody knows everything. Nobody,
That's right.
including me.
Yeah.
But you could be young and full of energy and piss and vinegar and have all the money in the world. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have the experience that life can give you, you're going to spend a lot of that money in tuition, getting an education that's going to be very expensive in the choices and decisions that you make.
Agreed.
If I can do anything and save you from some of that unnecessary risk,
Yeah.
and help you understand that your confidence is going to be based on your ability to have an experience of doing something and not thinking about something, you're going to be so far ahead of your peers that it would be crazy. They'll never catch you.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Never.
guys, thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you both for the short video. We're going to do lots more of these inside the ITWS Financial Lifetime Membership. So I just, Alan, James, thank you so much. We're going to do more soon.
Yeah,
All right.
welcome.
Take care. Thanks so
Thanks.
much.